Hey beautiful people, this video is about how to improve innovation skills. In this episode, we're going to talk about the difference between skills and practices, and then we're going to talk about how to help you improve your innovation practices, drawing from practices and frameworks that I have in the Innovation Mindset book. We're going to examine the 6-step practice model for continuous improvement. We're going to look at how to move from sporadic efforts to consistent practice, and ways to amplify and measure your innovation impact. I want to look at why practice beats talent in innovation development, the surprising connection between discomfort and improvement, and what makes some innovation practices 100% more effective than others. By the end of this video, I'd love to be able to help you understand how do you scale your innovation impact. Step number one in this is I'd love to help you understand the difference between skills and practices. And the reason for that is I view skills as being somewhat inert. So you have them, great that you're good at them. It would help if your boss knew what they were. But if you're not practicing those skills and building practices around those skills, then they're just skills. Lots of companies today hire for talent, skills, and competencies. And what they miss doing in that process is they miss recognizing the power of practices. And by that, what I mean is if you hire a bunch of junior people and they have certain skills and they have certain talents and they have certain competencies, they're waiting to be told what to do. If they don't have practices for putting all of those into action, and they aren't what we often refer to in our performance reviews, if they're not self-starters, then what you have is a whole bunch of people sitting around waiting for someone to tell them what to do. If you're leading a team and you have some of those people, they're great if you know how to lead them and how to activate them and how to manage them and how to exhort them and how to excite them. But they're not great if you're super busy yourself and you're trying to figure out how do you really effectively leverage them. If you can distinguish between skills and practices, let me give you an example. So say I happen to have a particular skill that has to do with seeing breakdowns, seeing stuff that doesn't work, and we all know one of those people. And they go into any room, any situation, any organization, any team meeting, any process, and they can tell you all the things that aren't working. Now, those people are a royal pain in the behind if they don't have practices around that skill, because it is a skill. It's something I'm not good at. If they do nothing but exercise that skill by complaining, they simply remain a royal pain. If they exercise that skill, because it's a valuable skill, if they exercise that skill by making offers to make things better, they become someone who is deeply loved and appreciated because they're incredibly valuable on a team. So now think about people who intentionally build practices. So say I'm one of those people who's able to see all the things that are wrong. If I intentionally build a practice of making offers to fix the things that I see are wrong, then what I'm doing is I'm moving myself up the practice impact model, the value ladder that allows me to be able to contribute more to my organization. So when I talk about the practice impact model in the book, I'm looking at talent, skills, competencies, and then deliberate practices which have this capacity to convert those from being operational things that rely on other people to leverage them to being generative things that allow individuals to be able to create value. So let's go back to our person who's able to see everything that's wrong. They now build a deliberate practice, maybe with your help as a leader and a manager. They build a deliberate practice of converting those into powerful offers to get things resolved. Now, they don't get belligerent about getting things resolved, but they make offers and they wait to see what of those offers get accepted. Some of those offers will inevitably get accepted, probably by you if you're their leader. And what happens then is they're now feeling fantastic about the fact that they are able to improve a situation that they have seen as broken and deliver something of value to their peers. The important thing about this process is as you start thinking about the spectrum of innovation from improvement or continuous innovation to moonshots and true generative innovation, the practices that we need to build in order to deliver and create moonshots or true breakthrough innovations are similar practices to the practices that we need to develop in order to simply improve the circumstances that we find ourselves in. So as you start helping people, including yourself, move away from the skills way of looking at things and into the practices way of looking at things, you're also helping them build innovation capacity. You're helping yourself build your innovation capacity. And you're also having a much higher level of impact. So the practice impact model allows you to move from talents which are inert and just sit there waiting for someone to activate them, to agile co-inventive processes which are 100 times more impactful than simply sitting there with a bunch of talents that nobody knows about and that you haven't leveraged yourself. So as you go through this ladder of impact, what you'll begin to notice is that your ability to be able to add value for organization and produce significant impact is considerably increased by your ability to be able to build generative practices into your work and into the way you show up every single day. So I have a question for you. If you were to onboard one innovation practice this month, what would it be? Drop a comment in the comments below and let me know, is there some beginning practice that you're willing to stick your neck out in, be courageous about, and start practicing and see what kind of results and impact it produces for you. If you do that and you produce results and impact, also let me know in the comments. But I want to know mostly, what innovation practice are you prepared to begin to start practicing tomorrow that will actually increase your innovation capacity and ideally get you promoted and recognized for the value that you bring to your organization. Innovation capacity itself develops through consistent practice, not through sporadic efforts or isolated initiatives. And in lots of organizations, we try and fix our innovation problem by setting up special projects and doing somewhat isolated initiatives. But innovation capacity is really built on the back of very powerful practices that a large number of people do together. And what they're doing together is they're building shared language and shared understanding and shared interpretation around what innovation is, what innovation practices are, and how they help each other build those over time. You can create improvement systems both for yourself and for your team by setting up regular practice sessions. You can ask them the question I just asked you. Is there an innovation practice that you are willing to start practicing this week? So an innovation practice could be, how do I make more powerful offers? An innovation practice could be, how do I listen to my customers and come back with the material to be able to design an offer that I want to be able to make to them? I could have an innovation practice of, how do I read the market and try and understand what it is going on in the market with a view to identifying more powerful offers that my team would want to make? Another innovation practice could be, how do I see all the things that are wrong and begin to identify where I can make powerful offers to be able to transform some of those processes that I know are broken inside my company. The other thing you want to do is to be able to develop feedback loops. An integral part of any innovation practice is to know whether or not it's working, to know whether or not it's adding value, to be able to see what are some of the impacts that it's having on the people around you. So feedback loops are super important. And by that, I don't mean that you're going to people and going, please may I have your feedback on X, as if you were, passing through an airport and giving them a smiley face, or as if you had used a public facility and you're going, was it green and I'm happy, or was it red and I'm not satisfied? What you want to be able to do is you want to actually be able to have conversations for gathering learning and knowledge and wisdom with people. So as you identify someone who's going to be your designated customer for an offer that you're making, your feedback loop is to sit down with them and go, how are things going? Are we delivering satisfaction for you? Where are you in the process of evaluating what it is that we could be doing more effectively? Are there things we could be doing more effectively? Is there something that has changed in our external circumstances that are relevant for how it is that we're currently doing the project, so that we can be agile and begin to make changes on the fly if that's what it is that we need to do? So those feedback loops are the sort of feedback loops when you can gain an awful lot more knowledge and context, and you can also build a lot of trust with your internal designated customer for the work that you're doing. One of the things that I've seen super smart and productive, effective people doing is they build support networks. And by that, what I mean in this particular circumstance is as I'm starting to incorporate new practices into my practice of being more innovative, of making more innovative offers, of being more innovative in terms of how I engage with my customers, I'm also looking at who are the people around me who can support me with brainstorming sessions, who can support me with feedback in terms of what they're hearing on the ground in terms of the value that I'm delivering, who can help me with design sessions as I look to make offers. I run cohorts to help people get promoted, and I run a program called Get Promoted. One of the things that we do in the cohort is we help each other design and build offers. And that's a support network, a very valuable support network for people as they look to increase their innovation capacity. So as you do this, it would be very valuable for you to look at my Get Promoted assessment. Even though you're thinking about building your innovation skills, you may not be looking at getting promoted right now. Building your innovation skills and building your innovation practices and becoming more innovative will invariably lead to you getting promoted. I have a link in the comments below. It's called www.getpromotedassessment.com, worth taking if you're looking to build your innovation practices and you're looking to leverage those skills that you already have and you're looking to get yourself promoted. As you look to this and study this, I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope that you become more innovative over time. Take care and good luck.